Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Let's hit the nail on the hammer here. This is all about frugal finance, cutting expenses. This is a nifty little guide here. Short 4-page deal. And it's about a few tips on cutting expenses. We know that the businesses out there are going to do everything in the world to confuse the consumer. They're going to nickel and dime us to death. Well, if you're a large institution and you are nickel diming people, those nickels and dimes all add up. And they're just trying to separate you from your money. So you, as the consumer, have to be cognizant. You have to be on the ball of these unscrupulous and somewhat contriving businesses out there. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So finding ways to reduce your expenses can help you better afford the necessities you can't live without. It can also give you more money every month to save for your goals. If you are one of those who compulsive buy, this may be the perfect solution. My little nudge. Women and men are both guilty of this. Women like their clothes and their house goodies. Men love their tools and their sports stuff. They overbuy and they underuse. And we're all guilty of it. You go out and you buy the most expensive golf clubs when you couldn't hit a golf ball straight if Tiger Woods was hitting the ball for you, okay? And women, really? Do you need 17 pairs of shoes? No. But you just want to be up to date with everyone else. And it's just your conscience. It's your, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the vanity in this world. And you're growing up with it and you live with it and you're going, I worked my butt off. I'm going to spend my money any way I want. But is that money being wasted? Because those shoes are only going to last for so long. Or could it be redirected to retirement where when you're older, you don't give a crap about that stuff. You're not so self-conscientious. You're not keeping up with the Joneses. You don't care. About the age of 50, you just don't give a crap anymore. And then at 65, you go, wow, I made a lot of mistakes when I was growing up. So look, start early because no one cares. Really, the only one who cares is you. So you may still find yourself short on money to pay your bills, even after tracking your expenses and cutting back. This is even more likely to happen if your hours at work are cut or you're temporarily out of work. Here are some tips and suggestions that can help you try to match what's going out with what's coming in. They focus on ways to decrease spending or uses of income on other financial resources. So what to do? Read through this list and the strategies for how to reduce them. Now, no one's going to force you to do this. You're going to have to want to do this. The question is, well, why do I want to save? Do I really care? You know, there's that saying, I can't take it with me when I'm dead. Well, that's true, but what happens while you're alive? Is it the chicken or the egg kind of deal? So you can take the 50-50 road. Throw everything you can into your work benefits, then throw all of what you can into a Roth IRA. Then throw everything you can into any other alternatives than wasting it. And then share any of your ideas. Cutting expenses can help you have money for what you need most. Now think about it. When I walk through this thing, I guess the first question I have is, do you have an emergency fund? And if you don't, then focus on these expenses because you need, on average, 2 to 4 months. If you're very conservative, 3 to 6 months of emergency fund money. So here's an idea. Car expenses. I'll renew my license and register on time to avoid late fees. I will get my regular oil changes and keep my tires inflated to reduce car repair expenses. Believe it or not, the oil changes is critical, but something as simple as keeping your tires inflated can make a big difference in terms of your gas usage. Believe it or not, 2 to 3 pound difference in air pressure on your tires can eat up a lot more fuel. I'll bring lunch to work instead of buying it. Oh my goodness. If I can't nudge you enough, think about this for a while. The average, and I say this over and over again, 2023, the average American spent $454 a month on food away from home. In other words, you're going to Starbucks, Chipotle's, you're going to restaurants where you could take and prepare your own lunch and you're going to save probably 60% of that $454. Now, clearly, you want to use a little bit for Friday and Saturday nights, but on the other hand, redirect that money elsewhere. Don't drink fountain drink. Really? Well, that's for obvious reason. The sugar content. If you go and buy a Pepsi, you buy a Coke, grab a tablespoon, then fill it 4 times with sugar. put it into a cup. That's what you're getting when you drink one of these fountain drinks, believe it or not. They're just so God blessing horrible for you that you should drink more water. Then the calories, then the pancreas and the liver and the kidneys and everything else. Oh, and let's talk about diabetes. So think about how bad this stuff is. And then this morning, I was just reading where Pepsi just reported record earnings. Yay. So Pepsi's just the junk company. Everything they do is junk. Everything. Potato chips, Pepsi Coke, sodas, even their Monster drink. No, that's Coca-Cola. It's just everything they do. It's just junk food. So be conscientious of the junk. Really. It's just bad for you. Now, look for deals. If you're going to go out and you have a bunch of kids, well, try to find some means to find discounts. This is another one. Here's the sleaze factor. Because friggin' financial banking institution, they're just crooks, period. So I'll research my account and check out ATM fees, overdraft fees, and all the other junk fees that these pathetic companies do. Why? Because they have to bow to Wall Street. So you're going to see a Wells Fargo. They're going to make up ridiculous account. And they're going to try to separate you at $2 a shot for your ATM fees or your overdraft fees and so on and so forth. I'll look into switching to lower fee or no fee accounts. Absolutely. I will switch to a different credit card with no or lower annual fees. This is all common sense. You shouldn't be paying these companies these junk fees. This weekend, make it a priority to review your accounts. If you have too many credit cards, close them. If you're being charged way too much in terms of fees, switch. Now, I always recommend checking out credit unions. Do not fall for the scam of social media and these guys pumping the top 10 credit cards. There's 14,000 different credit cards available in the US. And these wingdings are pushing the top 10. Really? Why? Because they get a huge commission. They get a huge commission if they can push you over to whatever credit card they're promoting. And believe it or not, I was checking the other day, the best credit cards, and I was just checking Northern California and the East Coast. And the best credit cards out there for overall purpose is from credit unions. And there was one, no fees, nothing slick, nothing fancy. They were charged 8.99% for a credit card. That's unheard of. There were no bells or whistles. It was pretty straightforward. A group, I think there were 3 or 4 on the East Coast and West Coast that were all under 10% with no fees. I will buy clothing and furniture secondhand or wait for sales. Yeah, some people, that's not a problem. I'm a believer that if you're going to buy clothes, just buy the best clothes that are going to last a long time. Levi's have been around for 100 years. Why? Because they're pretty good quality. They're built pretty well. So just think about that. But if you have kids, I have family members, it's unbelievable how much money they make. But they buy secondhand. And I have nothing against that. I think it's great. They have a bunch of kids. That's why. I'll use coupons on a daily basis. I go through and I look at websites that have promotional stuff. And I try to buy stuff that's on promotion. So there's nothing wrong with this. But I don't buy stuff I don't need. I buy stuff that has a useful purpose and a means to try to beat some of this unnecessary inflation. So think about that. I'll join other family or friends to buy groceries and supplies in bulk. Now here's the deal. I did this long ago. And it was just a personal thing because I'm Frugal Finance. You walk into an average grocery store, and it could be a Walmart, it could be your local grocer, what have you. So I took my normal purchase, and I did a comparison between Walmart and Sam's Club. They're the same company, all right? It's amazing. It's ridiculous why anybody would shop at Walmart for their food. Pay the $35 or the $65, it'll pay for itself in the first month. Sam's Club is comparable to Costco. The overall cost saving was about 53%. That was taking into consideration annual subscription. There's no reason to shop at Walmart. Occasionally you can go to Target if they have stuff on sale, but mostly your bulky kind of stuff, you want to use Costco. You want to use Sam's Club. Any other of the big box discount places. Strategy, I'll find out if I'm eligible for energy assistance, weatherization. Always try to take advantage of this. Any discounted utility rates. I'll set my thermostat lower during the winter and higher during the summer. I'll unplug appliances when not using them. Now this unplug thing, you'll never do it. But the thermostat thing, when you see a $90 electric bill during the summer, you'll think twice about lowering that thermostat temperature. Insurance, let's not even go down that road. It's going from bad to really bad to just horrific. I have no idea where we'll stand in 5 years. One, the cost is just getting out of control. I'll increase the deductible of my car insurance to lower my premium payment. Now, this is what I did. I have a very, very old vehicle. I like it. I use it just for running errands. It's an SUV, 33 years old. It runs like a champ, but I might put on a couple hundred miles a year. So I switched over to a per mile insurance, saved about 70%. Now, I don't know how this will work out in the long term because all of a sudden the initial start rate was attractive. And then here we are into the first 6 months and they've already bumped up the price. I know they work this stuff, and I don't know if it's the dog chasing the tail or the tail chasing the dog, but maybe if they see that the car is not being driven and I'm paying this minimal monthly rate, that they're going to make money one way or the other. So, I have no problem dropping them like any of these other horrific insurance companies, and they are bad. It's their practice to continue to increase the rates and never pay when you file a claim. I'll ask about good student discounts for young drivers. Wow, that's big. I understand in some cases this is just unmanageable these days. I'll check rates at other companies. Now, this is something you really need to be conscientious of. I went through, it was just a study on my own. One of these insurance companies really pissed me off. They were going to cancel my insurance. So I went through, and you can go to your state regulator. At least in California, they have a list of all of the insurance companies for any particular type of incident. So here it was for home insurance. But if you want to look at car insurance, they'll have a box, you check it, and it'll give you a list. Well, here was the deal. There were maybe 35 different insurance companies in California for home insurance. Well, it ends up there's about 9. They're subsidiaries of the big parent company, and they just put a different name on it. Then there's the insurance companies that force you to call to talk to one of their insurance agents. Well, why? Why would I talk to an insurance agent? That's just an added cost. You just throw that right out the window because you're not going to save any money talking directly to an insurance agent. Now, if you talk to a representative that's not an agent, well, maybe they have to be an agent to sell you the overall product. But if it's an independent agent working for the big company, they're going to add 25% to the cost of the insurance. So go direct and see what you can do in terms of negotiating. I won't even go down the road in terms of medical insurance. I'll have plenty of videos on that. Late fees, pay your bills on time. Now, I'm not a fan of the automated payment methodology. There's just too many. You leave your credit card number, and eventually that company is going to get hacked, and all your information is going to get hacked. So I make it a practice. One, I try to keep my bills to a minimum. In other words, I don't have subscriptions. I don't have 15 different bills I have to pay on a monthly basis. So if you can reduce the number of outputs, in other words, if you have a mortgage, you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have your insurance. And if you can redirect everything to your credit card company and you pay that off monthly, then that just saves you a lot of hassles. And you're going to have your utilities and what have you. But if you can minimize who your money goes to, then clearly more money is going to go into your particular pocket. And subsequently, you won't have to worry about these late payments. But if you make it a point to write in a calendar the due date of any particular bill, then force yourself first thing in the morning or your day starts, pay your bill. All right. If you can't do that, or if you just don't have the discipline, or if you're just damn lazy, then do auto payment and just live with the consequences. If your card's hacked, well, then you know the policy. You're going to have to go through the credit card company, get a new credit card. You're going to have to go to the credit reporting companies and do all that dance and what have you, whatever works for you. Memberships, cancel anything that you don't use. Gym memberships, it's about a 10% use. In other words, 90% is just money being wasted because you sign up for a gym membership because all your friends did. And then you find that, wow, I'd rather sit and eat potato chips and watch Netflix instead of going to the gym. Hey, to each his own. But if you're not using a gym membership, fine, cancel it. Cancel all the discount store memberships if you don't use them. Just common sense. Here's the biggest waste I've seen. Self-storage. I've acted as a consultant for self-storage. I think it's a great investment, but they're great investments because people will rent a self-storage facility and it's easier for them just to pay monthly than to go grab all the stuff and throw it away or have a garage sale. So if you're in that boat, stop spending the $250 a month, make it a point, go to self-storage, grab all that crap, throw it away, or have a garage sale and put that $250 towards either your credit card, other debt, or into some type of retirement. I'll check to see if I qualify for a lifeline phone rate for low income. Consider prepaid or fixed rate plans. Now, the cost of a friggin' Apple phone is just senseless. Why? Because, believe it or not, 55 cents of every dollar goes to Apple. In other words, pure profit. Their profit margins are just ridiculous. And you're being taken as a sucker for, quote unquote, I have an Apple phone. Look, it's just a phone. And the technology today is pretty ubiquitous. It's across the board. It's all the same stuff. Why would you overspend for something that can be redirected to either a prepaid or fixed plans or a less recognized name that provides pretty much the same services? Now, in terms of using the phone to record videos and what have you, perhaps the Apple phone has a bit more technology there. It may pay for itself, but for the everyday user, I would suspect you probably can downgrade. And then TV, internet streaming services. I don't watch TV. I can't comment on this. I have family members. They said, well, at one point we had 6 different subscriptions, but then we canceled 3 of them. Well, at least they're conscientious of it, but a lot of people just go, I'll get to it tomorrow. So those are just some helpful tips, a lot of my 2 cents worth for whatever it's worth. Comment, let me know what works for you. Are you this disciplined or are you not? You just shoot from the hip? You don't care? Or you're as tight as me in terms of the frugal finance side. And look, every penny is your penny. You work your butt off. Why give it to someone else? Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Hope that helped. Thanks for watching. See you soon.